Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's reading. I chose my crystals and my oils intuitively before I had a brief glance at the astrology of the week and also drew the cards. And then the crystals and oils made a lot of sense. So just remember to choose a number, and today we've got a number between 1 and 5. We've got black spruce, very grounding and calming, a favorite of mine. Wild orange to give us that pep in our step and hold on to some of the courage that comes with that Aries new moon that we experienced in the late on Sunday, which means that it's very, very present even on this Monday. And Roman chamomile, which I'm sure we all know chamomile is such a calming, soothing energy. And then rose quartz, amethyst, some quartz, sodalite, and some jade. So these are all going to be energies that are going to soothe and calm and nurture and balance, which is our Libra season big theme always. And when I drew the cards, I see why. So Mercury is going to be shifting signs Tuesday, tomorrow. So bearing in mind that's very present even from Monday. So shifting signs, he's now going direct again, and he's been from Libra back into Virgo, and now he's about to move from Virgo back into Libra for the second time in a short space of time. Instead of his once annual kind of trip past this point, he's doing it for a third time now, once forward, once backwards, once forward again. So this is something we'll really feel. But not only that, I think it was on Saturday, Pluto stationed direct. Now, Pluto stations, because he's a slow process kind of planet, it takes him a long time to do a full circuit. None of us will see a Pluto return. When he stations, it's also a bit of a slow eking out thing. So we've already been feeling this for the last few weeks, but it's very, very present now. And I have to say that this reading for me screams Pluto. And this is our reading. Pluto is also making a trine with Mercury. So their conversation is very present, and I feel it's so in this reading. And I feel like that full moon in Aries, which will be the last Aries lunation that isn't an eclipse, because that will be our next eclipse portal. And it feels very present that we are getting a bit of a butt whipping from Mercury and Pluto, and a support from that Aries energy if we dare to use it. Now, I just want to preface this reading by saying, when I drew the cards, I was like, oh, do you have those card readings where you just want to put them back in and try again? It was one of those. So there's no there's no way to soften the blow, and that in itself is so Plutonian. Okay, we start with the Ten of Swords, and this is everything, as you may see, is upside down this week. So we're in the pressure point of all of these things, and Pluto's whole mission in life is to create these pressure points. I mean, Pluto is the god of the underworld, which is where those lumps of coal are pressurized and heated up enough to turn into diamonds if they dare, or crumble to dust. And this feels like a week where you get to choose. This is going to be pick up that tough energy, use that stuff, that toxic feeling energy, and turn yourself into a diamond, or crumple. And I don't even feel like there's a way to sugarcoat it this week. So the Ten of Swords is quite a difficult, it's the end of a sword's journey. And if you see, we've actually got the 10 into the 9, and it's kind of like a backwards energy in that. And it actually feels like that's what we want to do. That feels like a big part of this energy, and this message for this reading is, I just want to go back. I just want to go back to before it felt so hard, before I knew what I know. And it's like Pandora's box. Once it's opened, it's opened. Once you know, you know. And you can bury your head in the sand like an ostrich. You can pretend to yourself mostly, and this is particularly your narrative to yourself, but then obviously that spills out into the world. But you can pretend to yourself that those things aren't true. You can drop into your denial spaces wherever it is, and we all have them. Wherever your denial is greatest, that is probably where you're feeling the most intensity at the moment. And then the places in your chart where Mercury, Pluto, and this full moon were, and Sun, because at full moon, remember, the sun and moon are opposite each other. So if you're really looking for some more specific advice and support with this, please do get in touch with me for a reading if you feel called, because it will really help to just give you the focus and clarity as to, well, what can I do to work with this energy, to go with the flow of this energy, because we are lacking the surrender, which you will see now. 10 of Swords is just saying you cannot keep walking backwards, you have to walk forward. And in its upright, this card is walking into, a new day, a new dawn. Maybe it wasn't so easy, but, there is a acceptance and surrender. But when it's upside down, as we drew it this week, there's a resistance. There's looking back into the past. There's utter denial that there is anything that needs changing. And even as the world is crumbling around you and your world is crumbling around you, you are just saying everything is perfect, everything is fine. And I mean, that's just not true for a single one of us at the moment. So I think, this is where we have to turn that denial into acceptance. And that's a big, big theme of this whole week. So the 9 of Swords is generally obviously before the 10 of Swords. And what it's saying is, if we can't turn this card around, this 10, if we can't come to the acceptance and surrender that something has ended and it's time to walk away. Swords are air, which is our thinking process. It's time to walk away from some old narratives and into a new dawn, even though it's damn hard. Nobody said breaking patterns and moving forward and releasing what needs to be released is easy, but that's what's necessary. And if we don't, especially with this card also in protection, we're actually going backwards from 10 to 9, and we're going back into our fears, back into our nightmares, back into the hamster wheel of our thoughts. Because this card is very much like paranoia, denial, in protection especially. You can see all the dark crows, but there's a light crow. She just can't see the light crow past the dark crows. And if we turn this around, in fact, it's like the light crow is almost coming from the previous card, which was upside down, so it doesn't make it much easier. It's the resistance, the refusal almost to move forward, to put fear in the back seat, or to feel the fear and do it anyway, walk through those fear walls when they show up. It's really challenging, but it's doable. And the more times we take that next right step for us, the easier and easier it becomes, the more momentum we get in the forward movement. And I'm actually going to turn these cards around as we talk about them. And I want you to feel that. I want you to feel that ability to turn the story around, because you have it. You have that magic. You have that power. It's going to take your courage. So draw from that Aries, which is the warrior. Draw from his warrior energy and dare to move forward rather than backwards. Then our next card, our next card is the moon card in protection. And I mean, look at that big full moon there, and look at the white and the black wolf. So we're really talking to the sense of balancing the masculine, feminine energies within us, the polarities. Working with that is always our thing in Libra season, as we've said so many times. And you can see at this point, she is surrendering to the ocean of emotion, because the moon rules water and our emotions. And you can see she's receiving into her left hand, the feminine side, the light of the moon. She's receiving that. But when it's upside down, it's like she's in a washing machine, one of those ones that spins round and round, and you can look in and you can just imagine, well, if I was in there, I wouldn't know up from down or down from up. Or if you've ever been in the ocean and been like really tumbled by a wave, and especially if you're like a surfer and you're further out, like deeper waters, you can't tell when it's churning. You can't see that the bubbles are going up. You don't know. It's just crazy water all around you. And when it's upside down, it can be that. And in that, there is fear, there is denial, there is a deep, deep desire to numb whatever is coming up, because it is so overwhelming. And remember, full moons are also those biggest moon points of the year, where our feelings and everything is larger, more grandiose, more overwhelming. Whether you're feeling good things or tough things, they just get bigger at full moon, which we're still in the midst of experiencing that full moon. And as I say, it's a portal. What's going on with you now at this Aries full moon might give you an indication of what's coming for you in the next eclipse season. Not the very next eclipse season, because that will be we're in that, and it's in Taurus Scorpio, but the following one that begins in March next year. So I do feel like if you dare to take that Aries energy and charge forward and make the changes, you're really going to help prevent a lot of the tough stuff that might be coming up for us next year. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm struggling to see which one I'm drawing here. Okay. Now this is another big nod to surrender. It's the Hanged Man, and it should be hanging upside down in this direction. But obviously, oh, somebody is hooting outside. One moment. Okay. Apologies. I hope that doesn't happen again. Okay, so it should be upside down. And what's so interesting for me with these two cards is when you see these two cards together, the Page of Pentacles, this last one, is kind of, it looks a little bit like the Hanged Man. If the Hanged Man is the right way up, as he should be, which is in this position, not as we got him or her, which is in this position. So theoretically, Hanged Man is asking us to completely surrender. This has a lot to do with Neptune. And if you even look at these two cards together, when they are in their upright, there is a sort of a feel here. And this is, again, one of the reasons these two cards coming up and upside down. If you have any addictive tendencies, I feel like this week is going to kick your butt, but it's also going to give you this amazing ability to hit rock bottom. There's a few cards here that speak to rock bottom. And remember, you could have very overt addiction, but you could also, all of us have our addictive spaces. So what is your addiction? What do you do to numb the pain? Like, do you get super busy so you don't have to feel the feelings? Are you a workaholic? Are you an alcoholic? Are you somebody who just displaces all of your feelings and starts trying to be a fixer or a pleaser for other people? Whatever it is, we all have them. Do you eat too much? What is it for you? Look what it is, because it's going to be showing up this week, and you have the opportunity to succumb to it or to surrender to the emotions that are actually leading you to the thing. And that's definitely the preferable option. But it might hurt like hell because feeling feelings that we've been doing a very good job of avoiding, let me tell you, it's not fun. But every time we do it, like I said earlier, with making those decisions, stepping forward, every time we do it, it really does give us the momentum, the confidence, the courage to do the next time, to feel the next feeling. So we do want to turn this around to surrender, because there is, if it's upside down, there's that resistance. There's that, like, I don't want to. I want to go up. I want to feel the nice stuff. I don't want to drop into the real hard, heavy emotions. I don't want to drop into what I've been avoiding. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. That is a big theme. We're letting our fear, or we could be letting our fear rule us quite substantially this week. Page of Pentacles, I feel, is a really good promise to us, because this is a really good materializing energy, making things manifest. Upside down, I feel like it's another thing that's seemingly been theming for us in the zeitgeist, which is the pause. Take the pause. And the pause is when you're about to react, stop, breathe. Do you still want to react that way? Then react that way. Do you not? Then don't. Take the pause. What am I thinking? Take the pause. What am I feeling? Take the pause. Drop into your body. And these are all things that help us to get aligned and balanced again, back to the Libra energies of this season. But if we want to turn this card around, because it's basically upside down for me, the biggest message right now is that we need to pause. We need to hang upside down in our cave like a bat and look at, where is it that I am avoiding my feelings, that I am so afraid and in denial that I will do anything to stay in this. I'm not even happy. I'm not even happy in this bubble, but I want to stay in this bubble because I know this bubble. And that's very much the energy we seem to be finding ourselves in right now. I would rather stay with what I know, even though I'm unhappy, because I don't know if there is a greener pasture. So I'll just stay miserable in this arid land where the dust is sweeping up around me. I can't think clearly. My eyes are scratchy. Everything makes me afraid. That's what we're risking getting stuck in. And Pluto is saying, I'm sorry, I'm going to make you so damn uncomfortable that maybe for the brave, you will do the changing that is needed. And I feel like if you're watching this reading, you are the brave. So I have faith in you. And I think sometimes it's harder to be the brave, but it's what's needed. And as you work on your own stuff, you are shifting the planet, the frequency on the planet. That's no small thing at all. And as we manage to take that pause, we can turn this card around and plant ourselves and plant new seeds for the new narrative, because we are breaking away from our old thinking, or we can be if we dare. And that just keeps coming up, that Aries. That's when Aries, and even Pluto, because Pluto is about power. And which dragon do you want to feed within you? Or which, maybe we should say today with this card, which wolf do you want to feed? Do you want to feed the wolf that lives in fear and lack and denial and addiction and misery, better the misery you know than the misery you don't kind of energy? Or do you want to feed the wolf that says, sure, we don't know what's around the next bend, but it could be great, and there will be challenge, but I'll meet new people, I'll keep my heart open, I'll dare to dream, I'll keep my vibes high, and when I drop, I'll pause and be present and feel, and then I'll deal, and then I'll plant, and then I'll grow. And that's where we all really need to be at the moment. So that's what the cards are saying to me. They've now all been turned the right way up, because I have absolute faith in you that you are going to have the courage to feel the feelings, to feel the fear, and to do it anyway. I hope this reading helps. And remember, if you're wanting a little extra support and guidance, I would love to be a part of that journey for you. And you can find me on all of my various links, which are listed below.